Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. We are still at the Zurich Invest event here at the Grand Hotel. And last but not least, our last interview today is Clynton Nauman, the CEO of Alexco Resources, who wants to give us an update on your terrific company. Clynton, welcome.
Jorgen, thanks for having me back, and really happy to give you an update on Keno Hill. So, yes. As you might appreciate, last week we published our updated PEA. Prior to this, we were talking about pulling all of that information together from recent exploration work and putting it all into effectively a new mine plan. So we have done that at this point. We have generated a project that I think is best in class in the silver business. And we would anticipate producing, say, over the next 8 or 9 years, more than 25 million payable ounces of silver. We have 1 million tons of material in the mine plan now from primarily 3 separate mines, and the average production grade is 843 grams per ton silver. Wow. So it is head and shoulders above any other project in the world. And in my view, it's in one of the safest jurisdictions in the world.
Definitely,
in the Yukon territory. Correct.
Yeah, and I think you also get a lot of government support, right? I mean, it's super mining friendly.
Yeah, exactly right. And so you'll see here in Zurich and other shows that the Yukon government is present at a lot of these shows, and just making sure that people know that the territory is open for business. And Alexco is a great case in point that we've been able to move a liability to at this point being a major asset and certainly the key asset for Alexco.
Fantastic. Can you give us maybe some of the numbers, what it looks like IRR,
so
estimated production costs, AIC, things like that?
So I think the headline numbers are like the all-in sustaining costs over the 8-year period are about $13.50 per ounce. But we use a very robust all-in sustaining cost. It includes all our bottoms-up cost calculations, plus overhead, G&A, plus exploration, plus any royalties or streams that are associated with the deposit. So that's on the that's over an 8-year period, producing on average 3.5 million ounces of silver per year. However, if you look at the first 3 years of production, head grades, diluted head grades are over 900 grams per ton silver, and the return is very significant. It has a 1-year payback, 27 million of capital to move it back into production, which is not a it's not a big ask.
How much money is in the company?
And we've got about 23 million in cash available. We're in very good shape and very well positioned to move forward. So, and most importantly, in the early production years, we'll be producing 4 million ounces of silver, and that's silver, not silver equivalent. And so, I mean, that puts us in a a fairly select group of silver producers in the world, and our all-in sustaining costs in the first 3 years will be $12, just over $12. So it's a very competitive, very compelling story if you want to be in the silver business.
Absolutely. And silver will rise for sure. We have deficits now the 5th year in a row. We see a deficit, and also through let's say China, the solar, etc. The e-mobility, silver is in high demand and stays in high demand. So that's perfect that you are going back into production. What would be, let's say, the time frame a little bit? Like, is it like in 6 months?
Well, we're going to, so we're going to take this in steps. Initially we have to drive a couple of declines. We still need to get permits for one of those. So to some extent our timeline's driven by the permitting on the front end. And we have a total of about 1,500 meters of decline to drive in a couple of different deposits. So that would take us all the way up through the middle of 2018. And then along the way, because these deposits are so high grade, that we'll probably do a lot of additional underground work, drilling on the way, and lift the entire project through a pre-feasibility type level of investigation and study. So we'll be very confident going into the production cycle that we know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, and you have also a nice exploration potential, I would say.
Yeah, I think that, Eric, one of the keys to Alexco's success has been its persistence in exploration. I mean, we were in production in this district from 2010 to 2013. As you remember, we suspended operations through the low silver part of the cycle, the low price cycle. And during that time, we continued with exploration. And I think that the proof is in the pudding. So since 2013, we have discovered and put on the books 23 million ounces, indicated ounces, and we've done that at a cost of 55 cents per ounce.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And we've essentially added 8 years of mine life through that continued exploration. Great. So it's really starting to pay dividends at this point.
Super, perfect. I'm glad to hear that, honestly. It's always good when a company can really, move forward and go again in production. That's fantastic. Right. You have also an environmental business. Maybe you want to give us a short idea, because I think it brings you some money in, right?
Yeah, exactly right. So that's a cash flowing business, and in 2016 it did about 11 million in revenue. Our margins are still 25%. We would normally do about 15 million. In revenue, but we had a couple of projects in the United States that wound down and were completed last year. So, I mean, that's a growth business. It's done really well. It's well branded at this point, both in Canada and in the United States. And our specialty is dealing with water and soils around industrial sites and mine sites and industrial sites. And there's lots of work out there for that type of for that type of skill set. Yeah.
Very good, great. Then Clynton, thank you much for the update. We keep fingers crossed that everything goes very well for you. I'm pretty sure, because you have the money already in the bank, and so we want to see you back in production.
Yeah, well, and us too. And but it is a process, one step at a time, and so we're not going to be rushing, and we're going to be very pragmatic and systematic about what we do.
And when you go next year in production, silver should be 25.
Yes, Godspeed the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was very nice. Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it was Clynton Nauman, the CEO of Alexco Resources. And you heard it, the company is going back in production. That's exactly what we want to see and hear, of course. They need approximately $27 million. They have over 20 million in the bank, so that shouldn't be really an issue. And also they have a cash flowing business, environmental services business, which brings them money in. And so they would have like a production profile of approximately 4 million ounces. They are very high grade, 843 grams per ton. That's really sensational. And they did their homework. They explored. They added 25 million ounces. 23 million ounces of indicated. In addition, that's another good 5 years of mine life. And I think they did a great job. So check out the company. Thanks for watching us. And that was it from Zurich.